Hey, hey, boss. Hey, how are you today? It's your girl, LaShonda Henry here, aka SistaSense. Always excited to share things you can do to work on your money, your marketing, and your sales goals too, with strategy and intention. So, yes, we are going to continue the book business week with some amazing speakers and guests. Today, I have a power panel, y'all. I am super excited. I have Turquoise Blue, Ms. Davis, I have Janelle Holland, I have Don McCoy, bringing me all the joy, all the feels, because what we're going to do is talk to you about easy ebook inspiration, right? So make sure that you're tagging your business besties, you're sharing this out, sharing is caring, that's what it's all about. And of course, if you're catching us on the replay side, feel free to drop into the comment box, hashtag replays around. What I'm going to do is talk to you about easy ebook ideas and inspiration, because I feel like one of the things you should be doing as an author entrepreneur is consistently creating books that you can leverage in so many amazing ways to better build your business, right? So we're going to explore some of those book types, topics, techniques, and tools tonight. All right, y'all, so you are in for a treat. Let me bring on my special guests, the amazing ladies of the Firestarter Circle Mastermind community. Hey, y'all, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
So awesome to have all of these lovely ladies with me tonight. So let's do this, I guess, let's see, left to right. I don't know how to do this when I'm mirroring. So Dawn, if you could introduce yourself, then Janelle, then Rhonda.
Sure. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you may be. I'm Dawn McCoy of Flourish Leadership Group. I help excite leaders to their next level of leadership. I'm an author, speaker, entrepreneur, especially a mom, and I'm just delighted to be here.
Hi, I'm Janelle
Mommypreneurs
Holland.
in the building.
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm Janelle Holland. I'm
Oh,
a
no.
licensed clinical
Sorry,
social
Janelle.
worker. Okay, no worries. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a minister and speaker, and a business trainer. And I'm just excited to be here to share some of the books that I've been able to create over the years that I've been working with LaShonda.
Yay! Excited. And Miss Turquoise Blue Rhonda, so happy to see you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. I'm Rhonda, aka Turquoise Blue, and I am a web graphic designer and also a fashion designer. And I also mentor women in um, making decisions and also learning how to express their creativity.
So we are creatives, social professionals. We work on so many different ways as far as designing and careers and just kind of helping people grow on different levels. So hopefully you can find some aspect of myself and these amazing ladies that you can resonate with today as we talk about some things that you can do to grow your business. Feel free to drop in and say, hey, Levon. Awesome to see you here, my dear. Welcome, welcome. Let us know who you are and where you are in this beautiful world today. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to talk about topics, okay? When it comes to your ebooks, what kind of topics should you be writing about as an author and as an entrepreneur? For me, I like for you to begin by exploring those areas that are the core of your area of expertise. So for me, I always jump on here and I say money, marketing, sales, right? Those are some of the core areas. So when I write content, a lot of times it's about monetization, marketing, and sales, specifically online, right? So as I'm thinking about, or rather, as I'm talking about this idea of what kind of topics you should be writing about when it comes to your ebooks, what I want to do is to be able to have all of you just kind of share what your core is when it comes to writing content. Don?
Oh, jumping right in. Well,
Mhm.
of course, my core area of focus is leadership development and being about what is involved in a leader being able to step up to the plate, be able to articulate their ideas, and be able to maximize resources. And so my core is talking about leadership development, communication skills, and productivity. So all of those three are tied in to make sure that a leader is maximizing who they are, how they are saying what they need to say, and being able to do it in a short, finite amount of time.
Janelle?
So, as a licensed clinical social worker, one that does outpatient mental health counseling, the three things that I talk about are counseling, clients, and cash. So, one of the first things that I developed, yep, those three. One of the first ones that I developed was teaching other counselors how to start their own business, how to start their own private practice, because I would get that question so often from other people.
And that's important. Like when you're thinking about the ebooks that you want to write, what are the kind of questions that people are asking you when it comes to your core? Rhonda?
Okay, for me as a designer, I focus on mainly being able to teach people how to tap into their creativity and to get paid for it. So the areas are, of course, tapping into the creativity. And then I've also found just from the questions that I've been getting from people and the comments that they make, such as, they don't know what to do or they don't feel that they have any talents or skills or anything. From there, I find I have to kind of go back to square one. So I have to work with them a little bit on mindset, self love, self care, and things like that. So
Mm,
I gravitate into those areas too. And then also, once they actually understand that they are creative and they do have things to offer, then it goes into helping them with developing a decision making process so that they can learn how to make better design decisions. And then, of course, turning that into expressing their creativity in a form which they can use to make money.
Now, what's great about what you just said, Rhonda, is a lot of times we have to reverse engineer the process because we know where we are and we know where people want to be. But sometimes, in order to get to that place, they got to start. Well, not sometimes, all times, right? Sometimes you have to start at step one with them, right? Before you get creative, here's where you need to be. Or sometimes you have to get to step zero, right? Before you can do this, maybe you don't know, or maybe you don't have enough confidence. So, kind of backtracking the process is definitely something that we have to do sometimes with our mentees. Welcome, welcome. Awesome to have you here, my dear. Feel free, guys, to number one, drop into the comment box and say, hey, 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 let us know who you are and where you are in this world today. Thanks for tapping on the hearts, the likes, the love. Keep tap, 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 tapping on that. Feel free to share this out. But of course, more importantly, I want you to think about, as a professional, who are you at your core and who are you trying to reach? Because when it comes to coming up with topics for your ebooks, your core is, to me, the heart of your content. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want us to do, and by the way, this is actually inspired by the Book Business Virtual Summit. All week, we've got some amazing speakers. These lovely ladies are a part of the SistaSense Power Circle panel. I've been rocking and rolling with Dawn, Rhonda, and Janelle for a long time, so I'm so excited to have them here and available, right, to share these strategies with you guys. And I want to make sure that you go to sistasense.com/BB Summit so you can learn more about the Book Business Summit and join us for the live virtual summit experience this weekend. Hey, welcome, welcome. Keep dropping in here, y'all. And definitely make sure you let us know who you are at your core. Okay. So, topics is the first thing that we're talking about today. Feel free to transcribe when it comes to easy ebook ideas. The first thing we're talking about is topics. Identify who you are at your core, the kind of people you're trying to reach, and also where people need to start. That actually brings me to concept number two, which honestly is all about thinking about the different types of ebooks that you can create. Two in particular that I love to talk about that we're going to be working in as part of the Write the Book workshop on Saturday are starter guides for beginners, right? Rhonda alluded to, thinking about where you need to start with some of your clients, right? And resource guides, because people are already always in need of direction. So I'm going to pause for a second so that you guys can, maybe share your experience with either creating resources or starter guides for your client base, any recommendations or points that you want to drop in there. And we'll continue with that little circle. So I'll let you go first, Don.
Hey, well, I that's a big giant question, because I'm not only I'm not only a fan of books that I read, that I collect, but also books that I develop. And so they run the gamut from a resource guide to something that's a self-help guide, that is a here's how-to guide process. And so my process is that I look at the questions that come to me all the time and that clients have trouble with, and to help them work through the steps, and to say, here's a how-to guide on, and I just basically am doing brain dumps a lot of times, or it's things that I have written out over the years, so that I'm taking it and putting it into a form. So it's remarkable that it is easier than people think to really put that into process. I know we are often our own roadblock. I will admit that personally, that we need to get out of our own way and just let that information flow. So I think it's a remarkable multi-step process.
It definitely is. And I love that you talked about, remember, guys, feel free to write this down, take note. What questions are you getting from people? Those are the kind of questions that you want to put into the beginnings of perhaps a starter guide, right? I wish I had it now. I grabbed several of my guides, and I know that my mentees, my power circle, they have their guides as well. One of them, I don't know why I don't have it. It's my Start Her Up guide on money, market, and sales, how to make it, monetize it, and market it when it comes to building your business. One of them, I think, is this one right here, Start and Grow. Because a lot of people come to me and they say, okay, well, what do I need to do to get started? I actually had someone who was watching a live stream on YouTube and said, I'm just starting my business. What do I need? I said, go get this, the Start and Grow guide. It's free over at SistaSense.com/SAG for Start and Grow, right? And so there are always going to be people who are coming to you looking for those first steps, and you want to get ready. You want to be ready for those people. Janelle?
Yes. So when I created my starter guide for counselors who want to start their own private practice. And the way I came up with the 5 parts for that book was, I thought about myself when I wanted to start my business. And you know how you don't know what you don't know until you actually get into it. And so I
Right.
had all these questions that I felt like, oh, if I would have known this from the beginning, I would have done it this way. Or if I would have known that, I would have taken that route instead. So that's how I kind of developed the 5 things that I cover in my starter guide, by thinking about what I wish I would have known beforehand, and then answering those questions to help get them started and get them on the right path to starting their business.
That is such a good thing, because sometimes maybe you don't have people coming to you asking you questions. So you go back to your past self and what did she want to know, right? And use that as a springboard for your ideas. And ladies, feel free, if you've got your books and your guides, different examples that you want to share, feel free to, show those as you're sharing your recommendations, because that was a really, really good one. Welcome, Ashley. Hey, that was a great one, Janelle. Thank you so much for that. Welcome. Hey, Latoya from Savannah, Georgia. Awesome to have you here. Rhonda?
Well, one of the things that I get asked a lot regarding design, you hear a lot of people, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot too, LaShonda. A lot of people say, oh, I want to start a brand, or I want to build my brand. And, what I found is that when people were saying that, they meant different things, but the majority of people were not necessarily talking about building a complete brand. They were referring to brand identity instead. They're mainly talking about, their logo, their color, the look and feel, and things like that, and my logo for my t-shirts and my merchandise, and the color of my website and things like that. So one of the guides first guides that I came up with was called Brand Builders, an 8-point checklist for getting your brand on point. And in there, it just goes through 8 different checkpoints that you can use to determine whether you actually have a brand or where your brand is actually missing some items, and understanding the difference between brand identity, what actually is a brand. So yeah, that was one of my first guides. I don't, let me see if I can get that clear on here. Here it is,
Yeah.
brand builders. Yes.
Love it, love it. And one of the things that both of you said, you talked about, Janelle, you don't know what you don't know, right? And Rhonda, you talked about sometimes, and I experienced this as well. People will say, well, is it landing page? Is it squeeze page? Is it sales page? When I say sales page, I'm talking about convert kit. What, like, they're using
Yes.
terms, but because they're new to the experience, everybody kind of interprets it or understands it a little bit different. So creating that kind of guide, Rhonda, is great because you're going to help people at different starting levels get a better sense of what they don't know, and the right ways that these things are defined. So I think that that's a great one as well. Now, what I want to do before we dig into, because again, we're talking today about topics, tools, techniques, and all that good stuff. Before we move further, I kind of want to stop for a second and ask you all, what were some of the motivational factors behind some of these resource guides that you put together? Like, what motivated you to say, this is what I want to work on? Because sometimes people say, I want to do something, but I don't know what I need to do. Did you guys go through that I don't know what to do kind of thing? And how did you figure out this is the thing that I want to focus on? I know, big question.
Right. Well, I know for me personally, it was that, again, I was being asked questions, but I had experienced so many challenges, specifically not only with leadership, which is a huge topic in and of itself, but crisis leadership. More recently, I've taken to writing out specifics on how crisis leadership is what we really need to manage in more detail. And so I actually compiled this guide here, which is a 7 essential tips when you're in crisis leadership. And the reason why I did this piece, oh, there, I sent it to you. And the reason why I did that, and just leafing through it, I did kind of big buttons and then putting in some notes pages. But the rationale was to make sure that I had enough of the bullet points people were asking me about. Well, what do we do? And how do we handle this? And so it was actually COVID pandemic situation where I was being asked about how do we handle situations that are unexpected, where it could be a financial crisis, it could be situational. Obviously, we've had lots of natural disasters, but I think it's important that leaders think about how they do manage and using these 7 steps. So I really went down a level and not just in the overarching support that I provide, and put it into some real operationalized, not only into the crisis leadership guide, but actually it will be a toolkit and a full webinar. And so building that out, not just into one piece that will be part of an overall package.
See, there's so many levels to what you just said, because of course we want to make sure that as an authorpreneur, you take what you've put together in an ebook or a print book or what have you, and then you build on it, right? That's number one. But number two, in addition to thinking about when it comes to topics, who you are at your core, thinking about the kind of content that's relevant right now. I love that you talked about the fact that you focus on crisis leadership, because think about all the things that we've gone through this year, right? This year's been crazy. That content is relevant. One of the amazing speakers that we have, Diane Taylor, the creator of Tailor Made Publishing, she talked about one of her books on racism, and how when she released that book a few years ago, it didn't really do that well, but now it's flying off the shelf because obviously there's so much that's going on right now, and people are trying to be conscious about how to be sensitive during these times. So think about the content that you can potentially create right now that's relevant, right? And there are just so many different amazing things, whether they're good things or challenging things or what have you. There's so many different things that are relevant that you can consider as your focus. Janelle?
So my idea for creating my products came from, with me being a service-based provider, I needed to monetize when I wasn't able to sit in my therapist chair and make money. So working with LaShonda through our clarity calls, I started developing ideas for how I could have products or packages or services that I could, make money in my sleep when I wasn't there. Because at a certain point in my life, my mom got really sick and I wasn't able to be in my office as much. So that was affecting my bottom line income. So I had to figure out, like, how am I going to make money when I'm not making money in this chair? So that's when I started coming up with
Yeah.
the ideas. Well, what do people always ask me all the time? What questions do they ask me a lot? What do I get when I go out to speak? Those type of questions. And I started putting those into lists and then turning those into the products that we created.
That's important because, when I would think about Dawn, you mentioned being a place where you can take the book and then expand it, right? And Janelle is talking about being in a place where you can take your core income and supplement it, right? So there's so many reasons and motivations behind why you would want to put something together. You want to be able to sit down and think about that, right? So this conversation is about ebook ideas and inspiration, and hopefully you guys can glean from these amazing ladies some things that maybe can help you tap into what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Rhonda?
I kind of agree with what Dawn was saying initially about creating products based on the questions that I'm answered, but then I'm also at the opposite end of the spectrum where I'm the type of person where I get too many ideas. So for me, it's not hard to come up with ideas of what products to create. For me, it's more of a narrowing down and focusing on, a particular topic. So I have a different issue regarding that.
But you made it work, though. You got you got some things created, which is great. By the way,
Yes.
one of the amazing things about if ladies, you could put up at least one of your print publications real quick. These are all digital, by the way. They're digital and they're print. But these are all a result of the teaching and the classes and the templates that I've been sharing inside of the SistaSense Circle. So hopefully you all have an opportunity to participate in the Write the Book workshop that we're doing on Saturday so that you can get some of these templates and you can actually create the content together, because that's something that I want you to be able to do, especially if you're in a place, and as Rhonda suggested, when you've got too many ideas, right, to help you narrow it down, come up with something and actually put it into a template so that you can move forward. So I love that these ladies are able to share the physical, right? They were able to create the digital and then make it printable, make it physical, based on the workshops and classes that I've produced as part of this SistaSense community. So I definitely want you to see that. Ashley says, "Ooh, I like." Awesome. I'm glad to see that you are liking the visuals of what you see here. I love that tool. Great. Great. That's great, Janelle. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. So again, feel free to share this out. Let us know what you're thinking about when it comes to your ideas, in addition to thinking about your topics, in addition to thinking about the different types of books. One of the things that I want us to do is to talk about tools. Talk about some of the tools that you personally use. Now, for me, you always know that Canva is Bay. So a lot of the content that I create on the canva.com platform. And I kind of make sure that pretty much all my SistaSense mentees on some level are using Canva, right? And I'm always asking, two questions. Do you have Canva for Business? If not, why not? And are you using the Canva app, right? Because I want that to be one of the tools that are your go-to. Now, when it comes to either writing or when it comes to some of the tools that I've shared with you ladies over the past, do you have any feedback or recommendations there? It could be that you want to share another tool outside of Canva, or you want to talk about some of the tools that we've used as part of the SistaSense Circle, whatever works for you.
I would say one, in addition to Canva Business, it's paramount. I actually can swear by the Google products. And I say that because it's not only a free platform, but I can leverage them in lots of different ways. So I schedule in Google Calendar. So I'm a mommy. So my mommy life is one calendar. My content calendar is another calendar. My business and personal professional obligations are another. but then I can also tie in the Google document features. And another really good one, if people haven't used it, is Google Keep. I have the app on my phone, and I absolutely just live by that, because if I have a brain like, oh my gosh, an aha moment, I am quickly going to the Google Keep app and putting it in there. It will get lost in the calendar. It will get lost in Gmail. And so I can send myself notes to really keep my awareness. And then also, as we've done brain dumps in the different programs where I was at the Spring into Action Weekend Workshop was where I worked on my particular product. I was able to gather my thoughts together in the Google documents, the brain dump documents, to put them there, and then to translate some of them into the Google Slides and others into other areas. So it just really, to me, was a seamless resource. So I actually, that's my number 2, I would say.
You know, first of all, can I just say that I've never heard of Google Keep before? Is that like how I mean, you guys all use that?
Get that tonight.
Yes.
Download that app. Yes.
I've never heard of it before. I love Google.
Google
I
Keep.
absolutely love Google Keep.
KEEP.
Oh my God. Is it like
Yes.
Evernote?
It's like Evernote, but I think to me it's seamless. In the Evernote is a little more cumbersome to me. I not prefer that. Google Keep, to me, you can pin things, you can put them in different colors, so you can have them in a archive fashion. You can enumerate, quickly take notes, talk to it. You can save pictures, email. You can save the emails when you have them in your file. So it's like, like that. So yeah, that helps me organize my brain.
Mind blown. Yeah. Mind blown. So first of all, one of the things I love about my mantra with SistaSense is that the success of your business depends upon the company you keep. Is that this? You learn things, even as much as I know, there's so many things I don't know. And I've loved the Google Suite, never used Google Keep before. So I'm excited to learn something new. Number 2, if you're not in a community, I highly suggest you get in one. Like I said, the Power Circle is waiting for you as part of the Book Business Summit. Make sure that you go over to SistaSense.com/BB Summit so that you can join the community. I'm a mommy too, so I've got my Google Calendar with mommy and me. We both had eye appointments and got him some Nike glasses for like almost $300. I was like, boy, if you break these glasses, as you said, mommy, I've got like SistaSense calendar and all these different things. But yeah, having those are essential. Plus the Google Docs so that we can do our brain dump sessions. We're definitely going to have a lot of brain dump time when we do the workshops on Saturday. So good stuff there. Thank you so much for that, Janelle.
So I just have to swear by Canva because I'm artistically challenged, as Turquoise Blue and LaShonda can tell you from the weekend workshops. I would be like peering over at Turquoise's computer trying to see what she was doing. One time I was looking at LaVon's computer, like that just is not my skill. So Canva helps me because it makes it easy to try to come up with these graphic design ideas because my brain just doesn't think in pictures like that. So I swear by Canva, if you are technically, artistically challenged like me, use Canva.
And what I love about it is that whether we're together, because these amazing ladies have participated in workshops that I've done here in North Carolina, all of them, and even the virtual ones. What's so great about Canva is the share, right? Even with Google Docs, the fact that you can share it. So literally real time when we're doing these virtual workshops, you can say, LaShonda, I don't like the way this looks. Share it with me. And then I can go in there, move some things around, and you go, I love when Janelle is like, yay, I love it.
So here's the one. Here's the one where I was about to cry. Remember we were leaving and I was about, LaShonda, mine doesn't look like anything. And she helped me create this one.
That's nice.
And that's one of the different types that I talk about as far as different types of books. That's a low content notebook. Janelle, if you could open it for them, and it's actually a spiral notebook. That's one of the things that we've done. There is Dawn's spiral notebook there. Creating custom notebooks is something that we've worked on as part of the circle as well. Oh my goodness, look, Rhonda's got her notebook too. Yay! I love it. I love it.
I was trying to copy.
templates and sharing them is so awesome. And given times like this when even if we can't come together and they can't hang with me, look at that. Come on now. That's so
I have this one
beautiful.
too.
Even if we can't hang in person here in North Carolina, we can do this virtually. And the next virtual, you don't want to miss it. The Write the Book workshop as part of the Book Business Virtual Summit this coming weekend. All the beautiful, good, right? Lavana's like, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Hey, Monique is in the building. So awesome to see you here, Monique. Welcome, welcome. Monique says that she will definitely look into Google Keep. Me too, because that's not one that that I've ever heard about before. New to me, so definitely mind blown. Rhonda, any feedback or different tools or apps that you want to share?
Well, I use the Google Drive too, and Google Keep, just like Dawn. I really like it because you can also, once you have gone in and quickly jotted down in your notes or created a checklist, bullet point list, or whatever, you have one of the options is that you can save it to your Google Drive, and so it converts it into a Google document. So I like that. And then I also still use Evernote to some degree. For the actual creating of the books, like I said, I do use the Google Drive. I use Word sometimes too, but I still also like the InDesign. And of course, there's a learning curve to that, but and cost for that too. But I do like that product for publishing documents. I think it produces the highest quality documents. But you can't go wrong with Canva, and you can't go wrong with Google Drive. And one thing that I have been getting into more of is Asana, which is a project management tool. And I really like it for managing my ideas, as we were talking about coming up with topics and things like that. I like it because I like it how it has the Kanban style board. So if I come up with a particular idea, then I can create different columns for it. And as I advance through the different steps, I can move it from column to column until I get to the point of completion. And also it has a calendar feature that is connected to it. So I can also see it reflected on the calendar. And then the other tool that I like, going back to more of an analog type tool, I still love my journals. And I'm a bullet journal girl, and also other journals and calendars. And I have a system where I use all of those.
Just simply being able to write on paper for me is like the best thing. That I always have some sort of a notebook, or 5 of them, like just somewhere everywhere around me. And I love the different tools that you guys are recommending as well. I think it's so great. I don't know if you all use Grammarly, but I use that so that when I'm writing on a regular basis, I've got the Grammarly add-on. Whether you're watching live or via the replay, do you use that tool? A lot of times people will come to me and they'll say they're resistant to writing, or they need a ghost writer or a copy person because they don't feel confident in their ability to spell or to, correctly write things. And I feel like Grammarly is so great in that it can help you with those little things that you may miss, not even just simply writing your books, but something as simple as an email or just kind of writing content for your blog. And because you can add the Grammarly add-on to your web browser, I use Chrome all the time, it basically is with you in every tab that you're writing content in. I don't know, do you guys use Grammarly?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So
I use Grammarly, and then I also use Hemingway.
Oh, okay. How is that different?
Well, I found that sometimes you get different results. Hemingway app, and you can use it online or on your phone. But I've found sometimes I'll put something through Grammarly, and then I'll run it through Hemingway just to cross-check it. And sometimes they find different things.
Oh, interesting. See, I didn't know about that one. See, that's why I love my circle, y'all. He's always something
and
new.
Hemingway's completely free.
And free is good, right? That's another great thing about it. Now, I want to make sure that we can cover one more thing as we're wrapping up today. Aisha says, oh, tag in folks. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. Tamara says, I'm thinking about a spiral notebook, would like to work for my business since people would probably be taking my book outside. I love it. Yeah, I love to create spiral notebooks. It's one of the things that I teach as part of my in-person workshops because in-person was not an option at some point this year. We did do that training inside of the Start Your Online Business on a Budget experience called Spring into Action. So write this down, SYOB. If you go to sistasense.com/SYOB, you'll be able to see the Start Your Online Business Spring into Action workshop. It was 3 days. It's all in there so that you can get that notebook template training if you're interested as part of that experience. Just a side note, by the way, Tamara, if that's something that you're interested in. So the last thing that we're going to do today is talk about techniques because there are techniques to just about everything, and everybody's got their own kind of sweet spot, a way of doing things, right? What I wanted to do when it comes to thinking about writing books and creating content, just to simply share some of my favorite techniques with you guys and give the ladies an opportunity to do the same. So one of the things I'll say this is one of my superpowers is QC, quickly creating quality content. And the secret sauce to that is templates. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of what I create is built on these templates that I use and then I share with my clients so that they can quickly create the content as well. So for example, when I think about, I pulled out, we've got Don's awesome ebook print book here as well. And I wanted to grab Rhonda's because I have hers. And I was like, wait, when you should have done this like 3 hours before. And you wait till like 15 minutes to go grab all the books and you're running out of time. One of the things that's great about templates is being able to brand them so that you can have your own consistency, right? And you'll see, I think this one and this one, while this is mine's and this is Dawn's, you'll see the branding, right? Ebook templates are awesome, right? And Rhonda, she zoomed in. Can you push it up a little bit on the camera? So yes, awesome. I love that. Side income secrets. These are just covers, several of the covers that I've created as part of, there's the ebook template and the workbook template. On the Write a Book workshop that we're doing on Saturday, we're going to be going in the starter guide template and the resource guide template. So we're going to be doing some fun things on Saturday for the Write a Book workshop. But those templates just make everything easier for me. So technique number one for me, having templates that I've created and then I rinse and repeat so I can get things done faster. Okay. QC, quickly create quality concepts. All right. So ladies, feel free to share any techniques either that you personally love or maybe some that I've shared with you, whatever works for you. Feel free to dig in and share.
Well, you mentioned something I think it was Rhonda who mentioned about the analog with notebooks. So I've always been a traditional notebook, scribble down ideas, have one by the bedside, have one in the living room, kitchen, or in the car, just so that I have something that I can readily go. Now, obviously the technology is what it is. You can put it right there, but I can grab a pen and scribble something down. So mine is to take the ideas that are brain dumps and to develop them levels up or down, depending on the concepts, how things are tied together in the leadership development, communications, and productivity areas, and to start to weave these ideas together because they come together at different times. And I come from a family of quilters. I cannot sew a stitch, but my grandmother, I do have her ideas of pulling together different patchwork ideas together. And so that's where my brain starts to put things together into different pieces. So sometimes it's on paper and then I get it into the electronic mode. So my technique is really to have a multi-faceted approach. The on paper works really great, but getting it onto Google Keep and Google Brain Dumps are paramount.
Janelle?
So I have to agree with Dawn that I'm definitely a write down the list in a notebook kind of person. But with our working together, the way I expanded on my book, because at first it just started out as a list of 12 things. but then you gave me the idea of how could I expand on it, so it's not only a list of 12 things, but then it also has a place for them to write ideas, how they can connect with that income stream. And then it also has another space for them to take notes, to ask questions. So the book kind of was expanded from one idea and just adding on to that so that it could help them brainstorm more ideas than just having the list. So that's kind of the technique that I use to expand on it.
I love that, because one of the things that we talked about in the Firestarter Circle was 3 E's, right? You take that list, you take that initial thing, you expand, you enhance, you elaborate, right? So taking the initial list and then giving people an opportunity to get writing prompts where they can put in their content as well. That helps. I mean, I've done that with pretty much all of these. So I always love to recommend giving people a place to process their thoughts, because then it makes it easier for you too, right? To make your book bigger by giving them more things that they can do as part of the experience. Love that. Love that. Rhonda.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say similar to what both Dawn and Janelle said, as far as, expanding and, using what you have to turn into more. But I also do the opposite, which is to, reverse engineer something or deconstruct. So a lot of times I'll have like an idea for a big thing. And I may know that it may be a while, or it may take a lot of effort, it might be a heavy lift to get the big thing done. So then what I'll do is start to deconstruct it and dissect it into different sections and continue to break that down until I get it to the smallest component or components, and then work on those and use basically the outline that was created from deconstructing the big thing, and turn that basically becomes the plan to get to the big thing.
I love that, because a lot of times we come up with these, I like to call them elephantastic ideas, right? And they wear on our chest because we're like, oh my God, this is going to take forever to do, right? But then, just as you suggest, reverse engineer it. You go from this is the biggest thing that I want to the smallest thing, then you can build up. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm excited about working on the starter guides and the resource guides, because they give you a starting point and then you can build, right? You can go from sharing something for the beginner to somebody who's intermediate or advanced, and then work your way back up the spectrum. So for those of you who are watching, I want you to think about, and feel free to drop into the comment box, do you find that you're overwhelmed with all the stuff that you want to do, right? And like Rhonda talked about, you have all these big ideas and you feel like you don't have the time or the resources to get it done. I know that when I created my first starter guide, I did that because literally for almost a year, I kept telling myself, I don't have the time to write 200 and 300 page books. I just can't do it, right? And I said to LaShonda, you can find a way or find an excuse, but you can't do both. So I found the way. I created a 20-page starter guide, and that got me back into self-publishing, right? So I love that you recommended that, Rhonda, because a lot of people feel overwhelmed, or they come up with all these great ideas and just can't find the time to execute. So creating something smaller is definitely a great way to kind of get you into the momentum of moving forward. Now, hopefully you've enjoyed today us talking about different types of books. We talked about different topics, tools, and techniques. Before we go, what I want to do is give you all an opportunity to share a little bit more about what you've created and what you're working on right now, so that we can stay connected with you. Done?
Well, and as I mentioned, the Crisis Leadership Series is what I have been working on, digging in with obviously the how-tos, and then obviously the managing through the crisis, and more importantly, sustaining that effort. So that's where the level of the book, the kit, and then the webinar are tied in. So that is being a process of bringing that together. Also a challenge that's kind of a parallel, so that there's a crisis leadership challenge that people can opt into, so that there's a way for people to do that. The next part of my processes is on the communication channel, because we have had to all shift into a different platform, I found a lot of people were asking me, how do I feel so comfortable on camera? And so I have a series that I'm working on behind the scenes now about online communication, but being able to do this in various forums. If we're in Zoom, if we're on a phone call and a conference call, and having our lighting right where we are, but also having our sound right so our phone isn't scratchy. And so I just want to make sure that leaders are staying in their leadership element and being able to articulate ideas without losing any steam. It's just a shift in platform, that's all. And so to assure people, that's what's coming next for me. So I'm excited to look at that next series.
For all leaders who are working on their skill set, and of course also looking for people to collaborate and learn from, definitely make sure you're staying connected to Dawn McCoy, Flourish Leadership Group. Janelle?
So my next venture is going to be a virtual summit that I'm going to be holding for counselors and service professionals in the helping fields who want to learn how to make money in more ways. So that information I'll be rolling out within the next week or two, but you can find out more about it at my website, www.janelleholland.com.
I love it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay, so Janelle and I were talking about some things for the end of quarter. I'm super excited that she's going to be working on her virtual event, because guess what, y'all? In addition to creating books as entrepreneurs, we've got to leverage those books and create more experiences, courses, virtual events, programs, one-on-one, and not just coming up with the ideas, but implementing them. That's the key. So I cannot wait to see Janelle's event. Make sure that you stay connected, janelleholland.com. Rhonda?
Okay, well, I have been promoting my Side Income Success Secret book and workbook bundle, and that's these here. And basically, it takes you through learning how to connect, and also how to adapt and shift in order to continue to keep your income coming when times change, such as like what we're going through right now. And the book basically explains the process that I use to do that, and also comes with a companion workbook that you can use to complete the exercises that are described in the book. And my current project, what I've been working on, and will be launching probably this weekend, or if not next week, is the Discover Your Unique Skill Set Challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. And what it does is it takes you through a series of exercises that you use to assess yourself and understand where you currently stand as far as your business is concerned. And at the end, when you're done, you will be able to identify your unique skills, strengths, and gifts. And then you take those, and I've created an exercise that you do where you take those and combine them with one other element, and you put them together in a matrix. And once you have everything diagrammed in front of you, that diagram basically represents a visual representation of your unique skill set, or what I like to call your sweet spot. And that's the spot from which you can operate, and where you can how do I want to say this? It's where you can show how unique you are and differentiate yourself from everyone else, so you don't have to go out and copy and do what everybody else is doing, even though you may be offering the exact same products and services as someone else. What you have within you is unique, and a lot of people, they will say, well, I don't know how to do anything special, or I don't have any extra skills, or I can never come up with anything unique or different. But we all have those abilities within us. It's just a matter of looking within and actually asking yourself specific questions, writing them down so that you can actually see them in front of you, and then sorting through those and combining them together where you can actually see basically a picture of you, one aspect of you, because we have multiple aspects of ourselves, and depending on what combinations you put down within that matrix, you'll see different aspects of you. And it also will help you to know when you're basically slipping over into imposter area where maybe you started to copy someone else, or, you drifted away, or you allowed someone to kind of talk you out of doing things, or talk you into doing things that are not necessarily you. Someone may tell you what they think you're good at or what you think you can do. And, they may not fully know you. They may just be guessing or just suggesting or throwing something at you. And then there are also trends and things like that kind of influence us, along with these other messages from our childhood and other things that we've absorbed along the way. But yeah, this challenge is a 3-day challenge, like I said, and it takes you through all of that to help you have a better look at you, so that you can create these offers that are truly from your heart.
I love that because, sitting here, you think about this, we're all unique in our own way. These templates have been used in completely different ways. Dawn is focused on leaders. Janelle has created her content and strategies for social workers. And Rhonda's in a space where she's working with creatives and women trying to figure out the decisions they need to make to move forward. So creating these things in just beautifully different ways, being able to understand who you are uniquely. Can't wait to see when that challenge comes out over on
Yes.
turquoiseblue.com. And I'll tell you, this girl
Yes.
right here, both designers. I love her style. I love how she uses the templates. She is a serious side hustle sister. I'm wearing her earrings right now because she's the creator of plushfunk.com as well. Come on now. This is the girl right here. She got a lot of ink. She got a lot of side hustles. And that she's been able to successfully do them. So definitely want to make sure that you take a look at Side Income Secrets, because that is another resource in and of itself. What's great about this is that even though you may find that sometimes what you're trying to create overlaps with somebody else, we all have a unique voice and we all have a different way of seeing things and doing things. So it's always great to just kind of consume different people's things, especially if you have a love of learning, which hopefully I hope that you do. So I've had so much fun with you guys. I cannot believe we've hit this. We've done this. This is the first time I've done a live stream with 4 people. And it worked out pretty well. So you guys, I appreciate you for being the first on my Power Circle panel. We're about to wrap up today. Like I mentioned before, make sure that you guys go to SistaSense.com/BB Summit. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be live and all the way lit. The book business experience, the authorpreneur school, the write the book workshop, so that we can work on a starter guide as well as a resource guide. And then for those of you who sign up for the bestseller boot camp, I'm tongue tied. The bestseller boot camp, there's another template in there so that you can create your own chapter books. And I'll show you on the screen relatively quickly. Here are some of my own personal chapter books that I've created. And I literally gave you the template to the chapter books inside of the Bestseller Bootcamp. So that's another program in there. There are multiple levels of resources for authors, creatives, and entrepreneurs as part of the Book Business Summit. So whether you're just trying to work on ebooks, print, digital, or creating some self-published content, we've got some awesome resources to share inside there. So I'm going to stop here because I want my ladies to be able to say whatever they want to say as we wrap up today. Dawn?
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm really delighted and honored to be able to share company with not just online, but as we share like we have in person previously. I want to encourage people to sign up. I just cannot implore enough. I have had information poured into me, and then I can pour out the subject area of my expertise through these templates. So I'm delighted. You can follow me across social at Dawn McCoy Books, and find out information about leadership development, communications, and productivity at flourishleadership.com. That's FLOURISH, leadership.com. So thanks so much for having me on, LaShondra.
Oh, thank you. Janelle?
I will echo what Dawn said. Thank you so much for having me on, LaShondra. I absolutely am upset that COVID prevented us from coming to North Carolina after January. Like I I love the workshops because when I get in person, it's the energy in the room that helps me create all the stuff that I've been able to create so far. So I miss being in person, but I've learned so much from online, in person, just to help me grow my business. So thank you for having me on. And anyone looking to follow me on Facebook, it's Powerful Living with Janelle. I'd love to have you be a part. And my website is www.janelleholland.com.
The next one's coming. Prayerfully, Lord, we're gonna have another one soon.
Hopefully.
Right? Fingers crossed. We were supposed to be
Yes.
in South Carolina on the beach. We're going to have business on the beach. It's going to come. I know it in my heart. Rhonda.
Yeah, thank you, LaShonda. This is actually a privilege to be here, and I really enjoy being a part of this circle. And like the other lady said, I really enjoy the in-person experiences that we have when we get together and we do our workshops, and we actually get a lot done. And
Mhm.
I also enjoy doing the online workshops, like the upcoming one this weekend. And I really encourage people to take a look at it and join this opportunity because uh, LaShonda actually packages everything where you can just plug and play and
Mhm.
take the concepts that you have in your head, in your notebook, on the back of a napkin, your half-written books, your blog posts that you may have written years ago, even your social media posts. You may have written enough social media posts that you could actually go back and take those um, what you've said and put them together and actually create chapter books. So, having someone to actually put together a system along with the templates that you can use to actually create a product is something that you really should take advantage of.
Yes.
Thank you,
Because
ladies. Thank you,
why
ladies.
reinvent the wheel when it's already
Right.
there? This is about saving time and saving money and actually getting product out there quickly because
Mhm.
we're in a phase right now where you actually have more eyes on what you're doing because people are
Yes.
at home, and actually people are also looking to do the things that you're doing or looking for people like you to connect with, because people either want to actually learn to do new things, or they want to buy new things, or they want to connect with new people right now.
Right.
That's true.
Oh, and
Absolutely.
I forgot, you can visit me at turquoiseblue.com. Thank you.
I love it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Everybody is looking to level up and elevate on some level, and they're doing it online. So now is the time to make sure that you're
Mhm.
getting your resources and you're in the right circle to make some things happen. Y'all, you'll need to lift up them books. So we needed some like outro music or something, y'all. Pop it so we can see this is what it's
Woohoo.
like when you take those ideas out of
Wow.
your head, right? And you create the content that you need. I look at these amazing journals, these notebooks, these resource
Mhm.
guides that my ladies have created as part of the Power Circle. Y'all need to screenshot this. You need to put it in your this is what I need to do, your vision for the future, because creating your products every single quarter, taking them ideas outside of your head, banking them and building your brand. That's what this conversation is all about. So I wanted to once again thank you so much, ladies. Lavon says, I agree. Oh, my girl Lavon is in the building. I missed the live workshops. I'm telling y'all, they coming. They're coming back. They're coming back. Trust and
Yes.
believe. Definitely. Aisha says, I am full of ideas, but I'm learning to stop finding reasons why I can't. Come on. Let me tell y'all something. I had such a great time. I recorded Diane Taylor, her session, Diane Taylor of Taylor Made, and she talked about the first book that she produced. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but she never thought she would do books, okay? She was doing PR, and the person that she did the book for, that book, her first book, was put in the hand of Barack Obama, okay? And the whole time she was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And the person that she was doing the book for says, you can and you will. You can and you will. And she did, right? And so we all have to be in spaces where we stop talking ourselves out of the things that we are destined to do, because we
Yeah.
can and we will. So hopefully I will see you beautiful spirits on our live summit on Saturday, whether you catch us live or the replays. We got a lot of good to give. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. Mwah. See you guys tomorrow
Thank
for
you.
another one.
All
Thank
right.
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Good night.
It's a force of habit. I do